Hey everybody, just giving my opinion on the debt crisis. Uh, this is one of those things that just keeps that whole attitude of just everyone hating Washington going. It's a perfect example of how just messy and dysfunctional Washington can look. But there is some stuff getting done, not much, but some. They're ironing out what they want to complain about. I guess you could put it that way. The Democrats, just by their rejection of the cut cap and balance plan, have shown that their biggest concern is not the social programs, the Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, that kind of stuff. Their biggest concern is getting the tax cut, the tax increases, because if they were worried about Social Security, stuff like that, then they would go with the cut cap and balance plan, which was put up by Boehner and the House Republicans, I think last week, or they'd already voted on it and passed it and got shut down in the Senate. But basically, it protected those on Social Security and the Medicaid, Medicare, those social programs, regardless of what happens. If the bill went through, or even if whatever happened, that would protect seniors and those on government help. But they rejected it, which shows that the only thing they can be holding out for are tax increases on the wealthy, which public shows that they don't want new taxes. Absolutely no new taxes. And even if let's say a bill went through with tax increases, we've heard nothing from the president, nothing from Reid about what bracket. The last time we heard about a tax increase, the bracket was 250 and above, 250,000 and above. If that's still the bracket, that's a lot of the middle class, it's a lot of small business, and that would be detrimental to the economy on top of the possible fall. We couldn't do it. But as far as other plans out there, Boehner's preparing a plan and went to the CBO, came back and cut enough, so he's working on that. That should be ready for a vote by Thursday. As far as Obama, he has not come out with a plan. On a side note, though, with the speech Obama made, he gave a lot of work, extra work, to every district office of every member of Congress in the country by asking people to call their Congress members. It's a lot of work. It's clogged up the phone lines. It was interesting, but it was a lot of work. So it did look. It also looked. I can't believe I'm going to cite Jon Stewart in a political video, but he made a good point that it was kind of like him showing that he can't handle this, that he's putting the responsibility on us now. He called it quitting. I don't know what I'd call it. I don't think it's that big of an issue. It's what politicians have always done. Actually, it's not really what politicians have always done. It's more like interest groups doing that. We don't really see politicians asking for that, so I guess that was kind of odd. But back to the plans, Obama has no plan, just ideas, I guess, that he'd like to see in a plan on his desk. As far as a plan from the Democrats, Harry Reid has a plan, but he's not going to announce it, bring it out until the last second, which I guess we should expect from Democrats. He'll bring it out, 10 o'clock at night on Monday the 1st, and give people no chance to read over it, to look at it, and then when the clock strikes midnight, if nothing's passed, that will have been the last thing up for the vote. As things stands now, it could always change, but if that's what happens, then the last action from Congress before we default would be a no from Republicans and a yes from the Democrats, and then they would run to any camera they could find and tell people that, and they've won the political battle. They've made Republicans look like the evil bastards who caused the first default in U.S. history. Well, those are the plans. That's what could happen. But as far as the issue, there's so much misinformation over information almost. Uh, this debt ceiling has nothing to do with jobs really. It it's not going to directly impact jobs. I mean, it'll impact jobs, but not. If there's a few things in between this and impact on jobs. If we don't raise the debt ceiling, which is something we have to do, we have to raise the debt ceiling. I don't want to do it. We have to do it. But if it's not raised by the second, then we won't be able to borrow money to pay our bills, and just like anyone who would default, we would be defaulting. We wouldn't be able to pay our bills. Our credit rating would drop from the AAA status that it's at. Moody, a few others, S&P. I'm not an expert as far as what happened to the stock market. I've heard anywhere from an 800-point drop, like what happened in the, I think it was hours after the government, or after Congress didn't pass the TARP bill, and initially, then they ended up passing it, the market went back up. But something like that could happen, and it doesn't go back up. It could be bigger than that, but no one really knows because we've never been there. We've never been to this level. We've never seen how the global markets are going to react. Because it's important how the Asian markets in Asia, China specifically, react to this. So it's going to be a whole new ballgame if we don't get this thing settled by the first, or by the night of the first, into August 2nd. But as I like Boehner. I think he's doing a good job of leadership, but as much as he wants to say this isn't business as usual, this is exactly business as usual. This is what's been done with every financial crisis in Washington forever. It's party lines, talking points, the same stuff, nothing's new. But hopefully it'll be something new will happen and we'll actually get a deal done that works. I know this is kind of a long video, but just one last thing. Tea Party members, you did a great job. First off, there's no Tea Party, Tea Group people, I'll call you that. You did a great job of bringing this issue up for debate, but just stop. Because now you're crossing into territory which I personally thought you could cause problems with, and a lot of people thought you could cause problems with, and that's actually getting legislation done, realizing how Washington works, balance of power, that kind of stuff. Republicans don't have really bargaining power. They don't. Because if this deal doesn't go through, they're going to be the bad guys. They're the ones who are going to be harmed next November. It's just, the Tea Party, of course they're not going to vote for Obama, but they're the minority. There are a lot of people who will look at this, blame Republicans, and not vote for them. A lot of people are independents. That's what is up for stake with this, as far as campaign-wise, which clearly Obama did in his speech Monday night, focusing on his campaign. But Republicans are not going to get everything they want. Honestly, they'll be lucky if they get anything they want. They'll get cuts. They're not going to get a balanced budget amendment. It's not going to happen. The tax loopholes, those are going to have to be done away with. That the code's going to have to be fixed as far as corporations like GE, that kind of stuff. And I think if a deal is done, it's going to include tax increases. I don't know where the tax bracket would be because Obama hasn't mentioned where he'd like it. How much of an increase, we really don't know. But I really think if this is done by the second, it's going to be because we're getting new taxes, and that'll be a pain in the ass. But that's what I've got on the debt issue. And go watch the other 90,000 talking heads on the matter. But that's what I got. So, as always, thanks for watching my show, Vix Politics, and have a nice day.